Welcome to the Can Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. This is Season 3, Episode 20, and if you're keeping track, this is our 91st regular podcast. So I'm not going to say something big is going to happen at 100, but something big is going to happen at 100. And today, as we are bringing you the world in a can, we're going to bring the world in a can to Spain. But before we talk about that, let's talk about our wine nerd word of the week. And our wine nerd word of the week is decanting. And decanting is the process of transferring wine from a bottle or can to separate out the sediment and aerate it. This enhances both the flavor and gets rid of some of the sediments. So decanting is that process. Now, what is our can of the week? Our can of the week is the Defy brand, Defy Red Blend, 250 milliliters, 13% alcohol. They have kind of a no-name look to them with a simple red, almost construction paper label with a simple text on it. There is a link, a QR code on the back that takes you to their website, gives you a little bit of information, but not too much. Judging by their area code 646, I think they're somehow hooked up in Manhattan, although they do have a European presence as well. And this wine is a Spanish wine. It doesn't say where it comes from, other than it is a mix of Tempranillo and Shiraz, both which are frequently grown in Spain. This is a vegan-friendly, organically produced wine that has, in their words, it's wine, it's wet. They try not to overly complicate things, and they seem to do a pretty good job from what we can see. Where did this wine come from? I don't get out as much as I was in the past because of our association with the International Canned Wine Competition, and also our membership with Maker Wine and Nomadic, all of those great people that will actually bring canned wine to your house. I mean, the International Canned Wine Competition, that's not something everybody can get a hold of, but as a sponsor, we do frequently get wines from them. So this one, I was out at my local liquor store, Van Wyck Liquors in Croton-on-Hudson, and they said, hey, well, look, we got this. So I said, hey, I'll pick up one of these and try it. So that was the hunting and gathering mode, which works pretty well. Although these days it's getting harder to find any of these things. So without any further ado, let's open this can of wine and talk about it. That has a very purple color. Dark fruits I smell. Very jammy. It is jammy. I don't smell smoke, but it's got a good body to it. Has some legs. That's a very nice wine. As they said, it's wet, it's wine. I think that's their motto. Or it's wine, it's wet. So don't overly complicate things. And it does have a bold flavor. What could you mix this with? Any sort of Spanish foods like chorizo, rabbit, wild boar. This would go pretty good with a spicy taco as well. So our shout out goes to the local wine merchants. You know, Van Wyck's is one of them. I was also down to Dylan's Wine Cellar the other day in Peekskill. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you keeping a few cans around for us, and I know summer's coming. Maybe you'll get some more in. So Shout out to those people. Shout out to Lee from No List Records. We have another episode coming up from Winnipeg, or actually the Great North Woods. So we're appreciative of you getting those cans up there to our people there, and hope that you're keeping warm in your knit cap, or toque as they say up in Canada. And our head scratcher, what was the answer from last week? Fear not, only believe. And that was the name of the artwork on that Nomatica can. And we're just, holding our breath and hoping for the people in California that, and the Nomatica people, she had noted on Instagram that she'd lost her house and stuff. So we're thinking about you and trying to help out any way we can. And hope that the worst is over, although we do hear tales of continued issues with fires out there. So that was the answer. Fear not, only believe. That was the answer. And I'd like to announce the person who answered the question and got their fantastic swag sent out to them, but nobody responded. Come on, guys. We know you're watching. There's a lot of people watching. Give us a comment. We love that stuff. And I'll make it easy for you this year, or this week, this episode, because it doesn't necessarily happen in a week or a year. It just happens when an episode happens. And this episode's head scratcher is, what ranking does Spain have as a world wine producer? Are they number one? Where do they rank? If you're the first person to answer that, believe me, we're going to send you something pretty cool. So in closing, thank you for tuning into the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. And remember, enjoy responsibly. And just because it comes in a can doesn't mean you can drink and drive. Enjoy it in your home. Enjoy it in the woods. Enjoy somewhere where you're not drinking and driving. The Canned Wine Podcast is a Center Stage Productions. All rights reserved.